Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Tony Harvin, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Do remember, if you'd like to subscribe to this channel, hit that subscribe button and also hit the notification bell right here and select all to receive all notifications upon the videos that come out on this channel. Also, my backup channel is Tony Harvin Network if you'd like to do the same. Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Tony Harvin, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'd like to thank everybody for coming to the channel, liking, subscribing, leaving your comments, positive or negative. This is live conversation number 265. Live conversation number 265, but we're here to talk about the street life, game banging, drugs in prison. Yeah, I know my disclaimer. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a preacher. I don't hold any type of office in the church, so please do not lay claims of those titles on me at all. I'm not here to violate any type of copyright infringement. I'm not here to violate any type of community guidelines. So what's up to everybody in the chat room thus far? Those who are about to come in and those who catch this live, after it's over. What's up to Jamar? He said, what it do? Not much, man. I'm just, chilling on this Friday night, man. Christopher Span, he says, good evening. What up, what up? Prince Sean, what up, what up, what up? I hope all is well. Mr. Ham, God first. What's up, man? What up, what up? What up to Jerry Merrick? What up, what up? What up to Raekwon? Shout out to you, man. You know what I'm saying? Need a follow-up testimony, man. For real. All of you want to come on the live right quick at Raekwon, let me know, man. Brittany. What up, what up? Mr. Ham said, this is my subject. I mean, you're welcome to come on, spend a couple of minutes on here if you like. A couple of minutes. Just a couple of minutes. If you'd like to come on and, tell a little bit about your testimony. If you've been in that type of lifestyle and that type of life in general before, you know what I mean? To give encouragement to the young folks out there, for sure. So if anybody feel as though they want to give a brief testimony. Just let me know. You come on. I'll give you a few minutes. Just let me know. I dropped the link in the chat room. And you could come on and, let them have it. So the link is in the chat room, I believe, to Mr. Ham and Raekwon. If y'all want to come on for a couple of minutes. What up? I'm a one God man. Shout out to you. What's up to Tasha? What up, what up, what up? What's up to Carmen? I think I shout out you out. Did I? I'm not sure. What up to Mario Harris? What up, what up, what up? Hope all is well. What's up to Nicole Martin?
Hold on, give me a second. Let me change something real quick.
Okay, Mr. Ham, he's coming on and give us a little testimony about the street life and things like that, in which the topic that we're here talking about on this live conversation number 265. What up to Thelma Speck? Shout out to you. What's up to Willa Boyd? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. And this is a good topic. All right, Mr. Ham back on. What up, man? You on live?
I'm driving right now. No, I'm good though. I ain't gotta stop.
Listen,
I ain't gotta stop.
I ain't accountable for nothing that happened to you.
Nah, you remember I told you. I went from drug dealing to I used to gang bang. Well, no, we didn't call it that. What the millennials and stuff like that call is gang banging. In the 90s, and the early 2000s, we didn't call it that. It was an organization. It was gangsters and vice lords. Wasn't no Crips and Bloods. They didn't even come to the Midwest. The government protects Crips and Bloods. That's the reason why they locked up people like Larry Hoover and Gerald Ford. People that we ran the street with and stuff like that were running for office and stuff like that. They were doing things like that. And so you never caught like you were talking about like in New Jersey, like it's Bloods and Crips.
Yeah.
There was no Bloods and Crips in the 90s in New York or in New Jersey.
In the 90s?
Yeah.
You sure?
Latin Kings, GDs, and Vice Lords. It was in New York. It was in New York, Florida, Atlanta, Texas. Pretty much Crips and Bloods, they pretty much stayed on the West Coast. The MS-13s, they stayed on the West Coast because Latin Kings, you remember when they used to have marches downtown in New York, right?
I'm from Jersey, man.
I know, but you remember everybody knew about the Latin Kings. They used to have marches down in downtown New York.
Oh, you said marches?
Yeah.
Oh, marches. Okay. Oh.
Yeah. And remember, Latin Kings were way more ruthless than MS-13. We know this, right? So yeah, the ones I ran the streets with, like the government feared the people that I ran the streets with. You had if you ever go back, you get a chance, and you go back and you look at the FBI tapes on Larry Hoover and Gerald Ford, you'll be amazed of how scared the government was of him. They classified him as a political prisoner because they couldn't lock him up on drugs. Have you seen that? Have you seen recently when they was that they still don't want to let Larry Hoover go?
No, I didn't hear about that recently.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, see, from where I'm at, it was different than the ones in Chicago's. As far as the ones that because in where I'm from, Vice Lords and GDs didn't fight with each other. But yeah, so as far as like ones that went to one I seen a lot of friends lost. They did a lot of RICO acts on a lot of them that was affiliated. But like I said, as far as me saying it's like when people talk about Crips and Blood, I don't see them. They gangbangers. They little boys without a father in the home. To me, that's what Crips and Bloods are to me. That's all I ever see as far as concerning them. When it was where I'm from in the Midwest, it was no Crips and Bloods. Not until like, I don't know, probably about like 2008 and stuff like that. But before that, see, because you got to remember, if you deal with Vice Lords and Gangster Disciples, you realize that was the only people that, come on, man, they made movies about them, man.
Yeah. You
remember that Warriors movie?
Warriors? I didn't see that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm laughing about it, but that's what it was, man. It was just, it was weird because, they stopped calling them organizations after they locked up the main people that were involved in it. But that's what I did, man. I sold drugs and was part of the organization for a long time, man.
What made you change your mind to step away from that stuff?
Well, I started getting older, and then when they really kind of got started, I mean, even before church and all of that, man, it really got me away from it was when I noticed that the government, because here's the thing about what it was with GDs and Vice Lords. What it was is, you had men like the boys killing each other in Chicago and stuff like that. Now, they wasn't doing that. Like how they disrespect parents and stuff like that, they wasn't doing that. And so when I seen the government didn't want that going on. Like they actually protected neighborhoods. But it was certain. Have you you remember? Have you ever heard of Copernic Greens?
Who?
Capernaum Greens in Chicago.
No.
Used to be. Yeah, well, that's what they based New Jack City off of. But
hold on. Probably.
Yeah. Well, anyway, man, I noticed the change as when the government really started going after the taking the fathers out of the home as far as the one. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying gangbanging was the thing to do and stuff like that, but at least the families were still together. But like when you talk about when you talk about a gripping of blood, they're not even organized, man. They were never organized. They still not. I mean, how do you? This is my thing, and I'm not glorifying it, but I'm saying, how do you have a gang that everybody is for themselves?
Well, it seemed to be that way in these days, but what about the
It's always been that way.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it was different out there where you from, but over here in the East Coast, before it wasn't like that. From what I've seen,
Listen, like I said, a whole bunch of young boys that needed companionship, and that's where you get Christian Bloods from. That's not how the gangs before them were. And like I said, I'm not glorifying. I'm just saying what I seen. You know, I don't have any respect for Christian Bloods because, come on, man, they were spawned by movies and the government. The government protects them. Come on, man, they build prisons and allow them to be their gangs inside of there. So they didn't do that. Like if you look at like Joliet and all the prisons around here and stuff like that, where they were locking up like vice lords and GDs, they had to separate them because they were too organized. The government wanted them so separated that they couldn't communicate. So,
gotcha.
But yeah, so I mean, as far as like I left it alone, but when they really started going after the fathers in the home and this and that or whatever. Plus, man, you know, drug dealing runs its course with anybody. Either you wind up dead or in prison. I managed to avoid either one of those things. So, you know, my kids were more important than me spending life in prison or winding up in a grave.
Cool. So, what type of advice will you give to those youth out there who's involved in that type of stuff?
This generation just too soft, man. They don't use these, man. They don't use these. I mean, I'm not glorifying fighting, but I would rather be into it with somebody and live to tell about it another day. True. You know, that was our generation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was us. You know what I mean? No matter how mad you was at somebody or whatever, or where they was from, you know, they ended up to shoot them because this dude got beat up and this and that. But gang life, selling drugs, prison or the grave. You remember I don't know, you might know the song, but Gangsters Don't Live That Long.
Might have heard it one time.
Yeah, it's a true statement. I buried a lot of my friends. As time started to getting into like the 2000s and stuff like that, the same ones that you would never thought got strung out on drugs and stuff like that. And I mean, I was going to funeral after funeral, this and that, and I was like, wow, yeah. And I mean, I just got away from it. I mean, I still see some of the people that I ran the streets with, man, here and there, but some of them just now getting out of prison, 20 years and 15-year stints. Some of them did over 25 years.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about it is loving your freedom. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's easy for them to take it from you. All you got to do is give them a reason to do it. Like me, like now, I don't like me not having to look over my shoulder. Me not having to look over my shoulder and stuff like that. Because when I slowly started getting away from my life, I still was paranoid about half the people that I came in contact with. Like I would have to study them in order for me to even think if they was cool or not. Because it was so embedded in me that it was just that like me. You know, even if the person wasn't that type of person, it's like, you know, I study the person. Like now, I'm more laxed about stuff like that and everything. But you know, it's a lot of different things as far as that. Like I see my you know, like my nephews and stuff like that. And I was told them about like catching stupid cases, stupid drug cases and stuff like that for no reason, just to prove something.
Yeah, man.
So I say like this is, and I keep saying this is a dumb generation. But I mean, I'm saying they legalized weed, man. When they did that, I seen the fall of America when they started trying to legalize weed. If nobody's seen that, they ain't been paying attention. Because just think about it. You look at Skid Row in California, different places in Baltimore. We don't, like where I'm at, they don't really have them homeless people out there like that. They put them in jail and stuff like that and leave them there. But you can see these homeless encampments and stuff like that. They didn't have none of that for people in the 90s or even in the 2000s. When crack was running rampant, they didn't do none of the stuff they doing now. I don't know, man. It's weird to see it. But I mean, at this point right here, I can talk about that, man. But I just say this, you know, praying for a person, man. That's pretty much the whole thing. But you get into that. The problem is when people sell drugs, they have a whole different mentality. Like people that say that they sell drugs because they just taking care of their family or they trying to help their friends and stuff like that. That's a lie. Because the minute they start making money, they forget all about family. Unless their family doing the same thing. I know because I was selfish when I was selling drugs. I ain't gonna lie. My kids, I took care of my kids. They was important, but it was more important to me to make money. And anybody tell you anything different, they lie. Just think about it. You know a few friends that I know you know people that caught drug cases and kept going back to jail and stuff like that, selling drugs.
Oh yeah.
Do 3 or 4 years, come out, get out, think they smarter, and turn around and catch another case. And then by the time they look up there on their third strike, now they gone for 20 years. And it wasn't because they was trying to take care of their family. They was only worried about self. I know, because I had that mentality. I know it. So, but yeah, I would advise for anybody, don't get into gang banging and selling drugs.
All right, man. Appreciate your time for coming on, man.
Yep.
All right, man.
All right. Yep.
Peace. Scott laughing. What's up, Raekwon? What up, man? What you laughing for, man? What you laughing for, man? What you laughing for, man? What's so funny? You got the mute button on, man. You got to hit your mute button.
I'm glad. Man, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. Well, my generation. Well, the reason why I say my generation because I'm 30 years old and I'm a 90s baby.
Yeah.
And I was born in 1993. And when you look at the generation that was before my generation, my mother is 46 years old. So my mother is a 70s baby. So she came up in the crack era. All right. My grandfather, which is her father, he smoked crack. I've been smoking crack for the last almost 35 years. But the reason why I say that, because, you know, the generation before my generation, they ain't showed, you know, you can't blame it on a whole generation itself. But if I grew up if you say you out the hood you know, and you quit to judge the generation that come behind you. And then when you explain the mindset that you got, you can't look down on the generation that's behind you and try to say that they failures, because when you look at when the number one person that's calling the generation that's behind them a failure, they're a failure also. And the deeds that's within them, you can't put, as a man, you can't put your failures in the decisions that you make and say that's the lifestyle that you live, or the habits that you have, or the characteristics that you have about yourself. You can't say that that's of the next person, because in the interview that I did with you, I told you why I ended up gang banging.
Yeah.
You know, me personally, I knew Mexicans. I knew people that was of every nationality that gang banged every game. And the reason why I became a gang member, because I felt like I wasn't getting the type of love that I wanted from my mother that I seen going on in my friend's house. So if you feel like you ain't getting the type of love, you feel like you ain't getting the type of clothing, the type of shoes that all of your friends got, everybody got Jordans and the new Air Forces. Man, you wearing Starburys. You wearing Shaqs. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, brother, you looking at the game, you seeing these jokers over here with chains, and your partner, he's selling weed and making a little money doing whatever he doing. So now you like, man, you see the females, they liking these street dudes. You see it, what you seeing is an illusion. The devil really got all this set up. See, that's the part that the last brother that was on here, you know, he based everything about his faults. You know, because, you know, he was selfish. You really got people out here that's grinding, you know, not saying that it's legit, but you got folks out here that's hustling, that's really hustling because they don't know no other way. They don't know the truth. Thank God for the apostle Pastor Gino, but they don't know the truth. And being that they don't know the truth, everything that the brother was just speaking, man, that's prison knowledge, man. Come on, man. That's what you learn from here, talking to guys who got life sentences. You sitting on the front porch with this cat who smokes cigarettes all day, and he try to give you a little knowledge. That's what that was. What a child can't learn nothing from that, man. Like, you got to really know that. You got to really be from the concrete for real. Like, you got to really know you got to really be from the struggle for real to be able to attain the people that's in the struggle. Like how Pastor always tell you, I'm from the hood. How a preacher that's out the suburbs gonna tell you how to come out of the hood. Jesus was from out the hood. Everybody in the Bible that God chose to do his work, every one of them, ain't none of them was perfect. God had to take them and show them how to do what he wanted them to do. So that go as for a person that's in the streets, or a child that's listening to NBA Youngboy, like, you know, that was my crew. The music industry, I was into all that. Man, this how the devil, when a child, they don't know what they really want growing up, man. So they only gonna be exposed to what their parents exposed them to. That's just being honest. So when it come to gang banging, the reason why a lot of children gang banging, man, because they want power. They not just power, they want respect. And they want the center of attention. And the majority of the time, it be testosterone because they want women. A lot of dudes be tough in certain environments because of, number one, they want other men to be scared of them like they just the lion of the tribe. But then when they go to talking about guns, you can't say that my generation straight cowards because they was using guns in the 70s. These folks was using guns. These folks was using torches and gas bottles, all type of stuff, bro.
Yeah.
God said it ain't nothing new up under the sun. So it's an ongoing cycle. It's just now really nobody want to be beat up. True that. Nobody don't want to be beat up, man. Nobody. I remember Tony, man. I used to fight every day, bro. Every day, man. My mama leave me in the house for a week. I come back outside. The first day I come outside, come back in the house, my shirt scratched like this here. Because number one, what I was taught in my neighborhood is all about when you grow up, man. My mother is still a gangster, bro. And I'm not saying that to sound that's the lifestyle that she lived, bro. Like a lot of women done had kids at a young age trying to find love in dudes, and they've been led on and been led lost. So a lot of kids don't have no father in their life. Man, not too many women is strong enough to raise 4, 5, 6 boys by herself, man. So after a while, once they get to getting older, guess what? He feeling like I got to take care of my household. My mama ain't got no man. I got to take care of my house, so I got to do whatever I got to do to make sure that all ends meet, man. So guess what he gonna do? He gonna go out there, he gonna pick up a gun and try to rob, or either he gonna sell dope. Because why? His mama ain't taught him how to use his ID, his identification to go get a job. Yeah. He don't know what to say to the people. When he don't know how to fill out an application. He used to his mother taking him to do everything that he need to do. So guess what? Being that he doesn't have the mindset to know what it is to go get a job, majority of the kids that grow up in a rural neighborhood, they don't make it past 8th grade or 9th grade. So at that point, guess what? Now you in the streets and you just having fun. Now you just caught up partying, getting high, having sex. Now your goal is to sell dope and chase women. That's it. So next thing, guess what come with that? Jail. Jail come after that, bro. For some people, juvenile. And juvenile isn't nothing but a system to get you ready for jail. And then prison. So I say this to say, man, it's not a debate, but I totally disagree with a lot of the stuff that the brother said that was just on how somebody that's selling drugs they doing it, and the reason why they doing it, whatever he said, the purpose of why they doing it is because of how he used to be. He used to be selfish. Man, come on, bro. It ain't like that, man.
All right.
Some people.
He wrote in the chat. He said you misunderstood him. He wrote that in the chat room. So I don't know if you want to talk with him to see the understanding of whatnot.
Yeah, like most definitely, man. You know, I don't care, Tony. You know, when you speaking to a forum where you trying to get the youth to understand you, like you got to talk where people can understand, man. Then you know, the brother went to speaking about Chicago gangs, bro, and saying that, you know, me personally, Tony, like before God saved my soul and filled me with the Holy Ghost, man, I was a real bud, bro. Like that was my life. Like that's what I like. Just being honest with you, brother. That's what I worship. Before God saved my life and brought me to the truth of God, man. That's all I knew. So to say it ain't to say that it's no structure in what I was in. Most definitely, I'm not giving these folks. I'm not giving the game no props. I'm not telling the game, saying that the game made me a man or none of that. At the end of the day, bro, when I joined the game, I went all the way back to deep into why this began and why this started. Because from the literature, it teaches you that It was for the protection of the environment, for their neighborhood, to protect their neighborhood, to protect their family, and these other gangs or whatever, like folks not coming in their neighborhood and trying to break in their house and take over their neighborhood. That's what. So at the end of the day, what I gained from that was, yeah, you got to be a crash dummy in order to get to a position where you can make decisions, but at the same time, you trying to show yourself honorable to a bunch of fools, to a bunch of dudes who really don't know what it is to be loyal to themselves, who really don't know what it is to really know how to take care of themselves. So they trying to tell you what it is to be a man. They trying to tell you, if you really love us, then go over here and put in work. But 9 times out of 10, I hadn't got to the point of myself, Tony, where the person that's telling me to put in work, what you want? I want to know what you done did. Like that's why I had got at with myself. Like you supposed to be a big homie. Like what's stopping me from slapping you out? Like if I slap you out, what you gonna tell one of them who are already talking behind your back that don't like you anyways to come do something to me? Nah, they gonna respect me because of what I done did to you. So all that, the gang and all that, man, that's about power. Folks want power and respect. That's the same way the devil is. That ain't nothing but the spirit of the devil having his way, man. That's all that is. The spirit of the devil having his way, man. So, and when it come to prison, like I was in high max security, man. Where you literally had to almost take a shower with your boots on. Like you can't even take no nap for real, because as soon as you go to sleep, one of your partners coming in the room to wake you up to tell you that it's going down. All you hear is knives sharpening all night. That's why I try to tell my little brothers, man, like, man, you could be tough out here on the streets, bro. But the same people that be out there on the streets shooting and killing, when they get behind this wall, they fold up, man, because they don't know how to use their hands. So it looked like the brother trying to say something, Tony.
All right, hold on for a second. You can answer this question. After you answer this question, then I'm gonna bring him in. Sister Davis says, can you ask Raekwon, speak to the young people and try to help young people escape their lifestyle? Let me see what you're trying to ask. Can you ask Raekwon, speak to the young people? It's not in the format of a question, Sister Davis. What question are you exactly trying to ask the young brother? You know, let me know. All right, Mr. Hand, you on right now? Good.
Yeah, so you misunderstood what I was saying, man. I don't think you actually was listening to me. Yeah, I was talking about myself, but when I was talking about gangs, like what you was talking about that you was affiliated with, there was no Crips and Bloods when there were GDs and Vice Lords. You know that. But my point that I was making was this. Crips and Bloods have never had structures. That's the reason why they're called gangs. GDs and Vice Lords were called organizations. Now, so do you know about the old tapes of Larry Hoover and Gerald Ford?
If not to get into a conversation about a gang, brother, but
no, I wasn't trying to do that. I'm just asking.
I want to say this: if Crips and Bloods wasn't around, then YT Rogers, when he came to California, he took the same neighborhood names from Chicago and came to California and started the Jungle. The Jungle set along with the Brim.
I can explain that easy.
But they said that the boys in the South in Chicago didn't approve of him doing that though. Right.
This is why. What they did was, I don't want to get that deep into it. I'll just say a little bit. What they did was this. This is why I tell you that they had no structure. They took literature that was for gangsters, and Crips took literature that was for Vice Lords. They crisscross things. This is what happens when something's not structured. I'm not saying that it's a good thing. I'm just telling you that's what happened. See, the stuff that they wrote, Crips wrote, was what Vice Lord used, and what Bloods wrote is what Gangster Disciples used. You do know that, right?
Nah.
Yeah, that's what happened.
I mean, personally, you know,
and I don't want to get into it because it's not really important.
It's not. That's not. It's most definitely that's not the important part. What I was speaking on, brother, is that when it comes to the youth, a lot of the youth, they don't even know about that. Like, just being honest, like a lot of the youth, these kids are just representing a name, and they only representing what they hear, what they see rappers doing.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. But remember, with that being said, remember what they did was the government did this. What you just said about young boys having to go and be the house with no father in the home. Even when dudes was gang banging and they was, and I'm not glamorizing it, but I'm using it as a point. That even when gangsters and vice lords were gang banging and stuff like that, they stuff this in the home. They didn't bring what they was doing in the street home. When the fathers left the home and the boys took over, they brought stuff to the home that involved the whole family.
But when, like me, I'm from the South. Being honest with you, brother, like I'm from an original city in Georgia. I'm from Savannah, Georgia. To be honest with you, bro, when it comes to where I'm from, this was one of the original parts where slaves settled at and where they were selling slaves at. Okay.
Yeah, I actually heard a little bit about that.
So when you go to speaking about, we're gonna leave the government out the way, and we just gonna specifically just keep it at this right here. A child is only gonna become what a parent exposed them to, and some kids, they do not become what their parents exposed them to, because some kids grow up in a good household.
I agree with you.
Where a lot of parents go wrong at with their children is when they start letting them go outside. See,
not only outside, kids get an influence from the tablets and stuff like that nowadays.
But I'm talking about
it's more stuff on the internet than it is in the streets.
It's most definitely that. But when you talking about my generation, I'm 30 years old. We ain't had tablets.
That's why I said that.
We ain't had tablets and all that. And the kids that's in this generation, they coming up under my generation.
Right.
So me being a 90s baby, I was born in 93. So everybody that I hung out with was born in the 80s. Either I was hanging out, I was 13 years old hanging out with.
When you was born, I was in the streets.
And I was sitting right there on the porch with you. When I'm talking about, I was one of them young cats that was on the porch with jokers 50 years old. Like I was way ahead of my time, man, because I had cousins. This way it all, and it also got to do with the inside of your family too. Like if you got uncles that's hustlers, or if you got cousins that's hustlers, majority of us grew up in our grandmother's home. Our great grandmother, that one that raised everybody, and that one that raised everybody, it was all. Go ahead, brother.
My mother and them kicked me out the house when I was 14 because I didn't want to abide by their rules.
Most definitely, so it was the same.
The streets became my mother and father.
Most definitely. So now where we at with each other, like we at in our conversation, we building together through conversation to really whoever youth that's listening to us, they can basically agree with what we saying, because once you get to that point where you feel like you outside, you might be still getting chopped across your head in your house, but your partners, they mama and them letting them do whatever they want to do. So now I guess you over there.
That's it.
You over there at this dude's house. He smoking cigarettes with his grandmama. You know,
another house they over there drinking and smoking weed.
They over there, and then you got your house that's structured. You feeling like, man, my folks tripping.
Yeah.
I don't know why they tripping on me like this. So now
I
guess
didn't
what?
realize it until I got older.
Right. Then you become a product of your environment. Because
that's
now
what I did.
you don't want to listen. Now you don't want to listen. So guess what? Any house without a man, guess what that woman gonna tell you? All right, so you feel like I can't tell you nothing. Well, get out.
Yep.
And when they tell you to get out, you at the wrong age. They telling you to get out at 13, 14, and 15 years old.
Yeah, back then, they didn't play that. Not like now, where they don't allow parents to do that.
Right. So
like my parents told me when I first went to juvenile, my parents told me, I didn't get you in here, I ain't getting you out.
Then when they tell you that, that's when that animal instinct that's within a man come out of you, and you go to feeling like it's just me. It's just me, and I got to do what I got to do for me.
I went from juvenile to jail.
Right. Then when you got in jail, you knew that you couldn't go out bad. So at that point, it's almost like you see, you really don't know about the game, but you know about the game. But then when you realize that all your partners really with this game for real, you ain't really doing it because of them. It's really they coming to you like, man, bro, you might well got doggone. You already rocking with the game. Why you ain't gang yet? Now you seeing things about them that you like. You seeing how folks respecting them. You seeing how they ain't going out bad for nothing. And see, all that. Guess what, bro? All that be the devil tricking you, building, trying to. He be and when the devil,
I seen dudes do some evil stuff. I seen dudes do some evil stuff, and that's another reason why, like when I walked away from all of that, that was another reason why, like I had a young boy that really set me on where one of the guys that was from the streets from where I was from wound up killing the whole family, kids and all. And
yeah, man.
When you start seeing stuff like that, and I mean, like I was telling Tony when I was first on, that it wasn't church or anything. My mother and them, man, they you know, I was raised with a mother that believed in God and stuff like that. I just didn't want to listen to it. But you know, I got in the streets. I got out of the streets, and I realized what I had missed. I lost a whole bunch of years running them streets. Lost a whole bunch of years, but I lost a whole bunch of friends in that process.
You know what really, and if there's any youth that's listening, man, what really make you change your life, to be honest with you, man, it wasn't me, myself, that made me change my life. It hadn't got to the point where I did everything. I lived a life so fast at a young age to the point where I was tired. I was ready to die. I was ready to die because I felt like
I wasn't ready to die, but I was tired.
Me personally, I was around too many wicked spirits to the point where the devil it's like this right here, man. When you get to that point, when you ready to die, that's when the devil fully latches on to you. He got you.
Yeah.
He got you. He got you when he wants you at. And the only thing that can loose that hold is God, man. That's it.
That's right.
You get to that point, guess what you do?
Amen.
You go to when you don't know what else to do, you go to listening to these demons on YouTube, You go to try to figure out you try to go to figure out what the truth is, and you go to listening to these folks that don't believe in Jesus Christ, period, man. You go to listening to these folks, listening to these folks that degrade who God is. They don't know God, they don't understand the scriptures. So they go to try to speak, they go to try to teaching you the mythology of man. They try to go to teaching you all this different stuff. Now, next thing you know, you looking at videos from Dick Gregory and Malik, listening to stuff from Malachi Zoo York and all these folks who really be messing with demons.
Omar, what was it, Dr. Umar, whatever his name?
Yeah, man. You go to listening to all these different people, man, who worship their ancestors. They worship the dead, man. So when you go to listening to the people, that's just like these music artists, man. I was in the music industry. I'm talking about as soon as I signed a deal, when it came time for me to drop that first mixtape, God would not let me open up my mouth to do to say anything on the mic. And at that point, when I realized when it comes to that music industry, this is what the devil is using to get these kids. TikTok. That's another thing that the devil is, that's the number one thing that the devil is using. You got kids in the room twerking, listening to, you got these kids listening to songs, Let Me Lick You Up and Down and all this type of stuff. These kids dancing to the songs from the 80s and don't even know what they listening to. They dancing to songs from R. Kelly and all these different demonic artists that's pushing all the baby, and all the music industry is surrounded by Satan, period. Even the gospel singers, a lot of these gospel singers ain't even, they ain't got no Holy Ghost, for one. So the songs that they create, and God ain't getting no glory out of them. So it take a person that's truly Holy Ghost filled, that got a real connection with God, to sing the song for God to get glory out of it. Not the gospel singers, but a person that's living holy. They got to learn the song that the gospel singer singing in order for God to get glory from the song. So
that's what. Did you hear the message? Did you hear the message that Gino preached on that?
Yeah, most definitely,
when he was
man.
Talking about what makes it holy.
Most definitely. So what I've been telling the youth, Tony, man, is that I told a young guy, he seen us coming from church. Yeah. He said, man, you been to church? I say, yeah, man. I say, you know, you got to be a real soldier to serve God. Like, you can't be two-faced. You can't be double-minded. Like, God want real soldiers. Like, you got to be, I told him, like, from a street terminology, like, you got to be built for this. Like, you can't be soft. You can't be weak. You got to be able to take pain. You got to be able to take persecution. Like, this come with suffering. Like, this the real lifestyle for real. Like, living holy. Like, you got to pray and ask God to make you.
Hey, brother, I'm gonna go ahead and let you finish talking. I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't no misunderstanding on it. That's all.
Yeah, brother Tony, I ain't trying to take over.
I'm riding with my light on in my car. I can't keep. Yeah.
Most definitely, brother.
So I gotta get off there. But God bless. Hey, I'm gonna keep listening though. Yeah, I just didn't want no misunderstanding on it. That's all. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Hey, so brother.
we got a question from the chat room. Then we gonna wrap it up.
All right.
She also asked, "Did you go to TOG?" And I answered yes. Both of the brothers go to TOG, but this is her question right here. She says, "I was asking if he goes around to speak to the young people to encourage them with his testimony of deliverance."
To be honest with you, I don't just go around to like just walking up on groups of young guys like the Latter-day Saints, how they pull up on you on a bicycle with a helmet. They try to tell you, no, I don't do it like that. But man, I tell you, man, it's like when I see when I have that spiritual attraction to a group of young guys and I go to seeing like they doing something and they don't even know what they doing. A lot of these young guys, when you talking to them and you just freely coming up to them with conversation, they gonna be like, yeah, twisting their head, yeah, yeah. Like, you can't just randomly go to a group and just try to give them insight. You got to go to kids that really want it. Yeah. You got kids out here that really want it, that really want to understand it. They say, man, God got to open up your ears to hear. You know, you can sit down in front of a group of youth and speak wisdom and knowledge to them for an hour, and only thing they did was hear, but they didn't listen. So, you know, most definitely, if it's God's will, we supposed to be having something coming together with the Truth of God youth leaders. One of the youth leaders was supposed to put something together where I could have have a conversation with the youth. So if it's God's will and that come together, that's how that'll happen.
That's what's up, man. Appreciate you for coming on, man. You know.
So, Vic, bro.
For sure, man. Anytime, man. Let me know.
Peace be unto you, man. God bless, man.
You too, man. Appreciate that. All right, that was Raekwon, and we have Mr. Ham. Both brothers follow the truth of God, man. It was a wonderful night, wonderful brief testimonies from both of the brothers and whatnot, man. It was a great conversation, and I'll be looking forward to having more of these conversations in general. Shout out to everybody in the chat room who tuned in, who comment, left questions and whatnot. Do remember, be on the lookout for more videos coming to this channel of the truth of God and whatnot. Most likely Sunday. Truth of God videos will be live here at 1 p.m. on this YouTube channel. And you could also go to the tug.tv or First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ YouTube channel to also catch the live. Those who have been asking questions about baptism and, you know, how to contact the Truth of God, you got to go to truthofgod.com. truthofgod.com. Good night to everybody out there. Shout out to Cindy. I see you. Good night to everybody out there. Hope everybody have a wonderful night. This here was live conversation number 265, man. Thank y'all for tuning in once again. And God bless. I'm out. Peace. Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Tony Harvin, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Do remember, if you'd like to subscribe to this channel, hit that subscribe button and also hit the notification bell right here and select all to receive all notifications upon the videos that come out on this channel. Also, my backup channel is Tony Harvin Network if you'd like to do the same.